Hi there, Brandy here. I am answering some more questions for Is This Normal? So let's go. All right, my next question. Is it normal to have flashbacks to labor, birth at 3 months postpartum? When my baby boy was born, the end of our 24-hour labor was traumatic. He came out white as a ghost and was in shock. After 9 months of carrying him, I laid on the table waiting to hear him cry, and he did not. I had to yell and ask, why isn't he crying? And as I looked around, there were about 20 people in the room, and I knew something was wrong. Luckily, he is perfectly fine, healthy, and happy now. To this day, when I see a commercial or a video depicting birth and the baby's first cries, I flash back to that terrifying moment. Is that normal? So I first wanted to say that I think that this happens to a lot of us, where we might experience something very traumatic. It may be a traumatic birth, any kind of trauma. I think we are very much so programmed to just kind of glaze over it and just glaze it over as, it is what it is, right? And especially when it comes to birth, it's almost this thought that as long as you have a baby that's healthy and whole and has 10 fingers and 10 toes and everything's fine, then everything's fine. You should be just grateful, right? But the problem with that is that the trauma that comes with it is never addressed. And that's a problem. So I really believe that it's so important to process what happens to us and what happens in us because of it. And so I would really, really, really recommend just leaning into the fact that something traumatic happened, you had a traumatic birth, and begin on the journey of processing it. So what processing it may look like is, one, doing exactly what you're doing, sharing it. It may be writing down your birth story, because there's something about getting it out so that way you can just see it and you can see what happened, right? The other thing is sharing. So sharing with, whether it's a doula, whether it's a friend, whoever it is, even if it's just discussing it with a partner, a friend, whatever. That right there is so important. Just get it out. You have to get it out. Just get it out, right? The other thing is, I really believe in processing our stuff. So that might be, finding a therapist, within your area that you can process that through. I think therapists are great. I think therapy is amazing. I think everyone should be in therapy. But a therapist can really help you kind of process, and especially if you find a therapist that focuses in on birth and traumatic events after birth. If you could find someone like that, that would be ideal. And then you all can process what happened together. Another resource is, I love the book, The Body Keeps the Score. And it's a really great resource. And I recommend everyone read it, especially if you have given birth. Because I think that trauma behind birth can be stored in our bodies. And so it's so important to process it, to really look through it and look at it so that way your body can release it. And so, yeah, I really would, those are the things I would recommend. And just know that, process it, really process it, talk it through, share it. I'm a huge proponent for also somatic experiencing. If you Google it, it's somatic experiencing. There are plenty of therapists that actually do that, and it's basically where you all work together to link your body to what has happened and really focusing in on your body and how your body has processed the trauma. So I really, really recommend that for any birthing people that have experienced trauma. So yeah, share. Get it out. Talk about it. Literally talk about it, because that's what's gonna help you process it. So thank you for sharing that.